This is my first impressions of Space Marine 2. I did not, well, I pre-ordered the game, but I didn't pay extra for the early access, and so I've only had the game for like 2 days at this point. So I haven't played through the PvP yet. I've only done the campaign and a little bit of co-op, the co-op missions. So this is kind of just early impressions. Now, understand, I'm a person that really likes the Warhammer universe, and I really like these sorts of games. It plays really similar to Warhammer Vermintide or Doom. So, if you like the overwhelming rush sort of combat, then this is absolutely that kind of game. This is not a open world RPG where you get to make your own character. This is very much playing through a set character's story, but it is very enjoyable and serviceable and done very well. Just understand that this is a much smaller scope of a game, depending on your if that's a good value proposition for you. If you plan on only playing the solo single player game, the game is about 10 to 12 hours. There is a 3-person mode that is 4 more missions that are about 30 to 50 minutes each. And you can replay those a lot to unlock cosmetics. And that's really kind of what the game is more pushed towards. There is a roadmap that there will be more of the multiplayer missions coming within the next year. And there is a battle pass that was included in the pre-order and is for sale separately, but is cosmetic only. So the gameplay updates will be included with the original base game price. But there are cosmetic battle pass items that are going to be unlocked alongside those updates. So just keep that in mind as far as the value of the game. Now, this, this is going to be biased because I really, really enjoy the game. I really like the lore, and the Warhammer 40k universe that the game is based in, and I enjoy combat like this. So keep that in mind. I'm going to keep it spoiler free, but I'm I will address some of the downsides, but understand that I really enjoy the game, so that's going to influence how I speak on it. So the good is the game is very lore accurate. It the story is very meat and potatoes. You are a space marine being sent to the next spot. It works really well. You feel really immersed. You get the kind of there's more problems, get there feeling, which is just really good if you enjoy like war simulators. This is a good one for that. If you enjoy longer, more elaborate like storytelling, then you may find the story a little simple, but they do have a lot of lore friendly flavor in the world. Like when you're on the space station, you can overhear a sermon that or a pep talk for some of the other space marines that will feed you little nuggets of the Warhammer lore, which I just really enjoyed walking around and seeing that kind of stuff. Every unit you fight in the game, without spoilers, is a playable unit in the Warhammer 40k tabletop, including a lot of the level design. If you like the Necron ruins, or if you like the spaceship, or the cathedral ruins or something, these are set pieces you can have for your Warhammer table. If the Tyrranid warriors, you can paint and play yourself if you want to do that, or you can play as a Space Marine, including Titus himself. I know he's gray. I will paint him soon, I promise. I actually got him a while back. I think this was like promoting Space Marines 1, which came out just years ago. But I got this at Target. And it was Titus as a model and 22 Tyrranids. So like units per price. It was like a really good value. And it came with some cardboard tile sets. So yeah, I haven't finished painting the Tyrranids that are included in that either, but it's pretty cool. They don't have it in stores anymore because it's been a while, but I still saw that they had copies online if you want to pick it up. Um, if this game gets you into the Warhammer universe, that's a good entry point because it's cheaper than building your whole army to start. And I don't know, I just get excited when new people get into the hobby because it's really enjoyable. So let me get back to the game. If you really want to feel like you're the unit on the table being just overwhelmed by like a big swarm of Tyrranids, or having like gargoyles fly overhead, or just like like really immersed in the grimdark universe, then the set dressing of this game really does it. And the way the combat works really makes you feel like you're hanging on by a thread at moments, and that can feel really good if you like give in and accept that's the kind of gameplay it is. Some tips, like some stuff that I noticed when playing in combat that isn't immediately obvious, that may help your gameplay be more enjoyable. One, the game is hard. You may want to start normal even if you play a lot of games until you get the hang of the controls, and then bump up the difficulty, especially in the multiplayer missions, because you are starting out with no skill points and no weapon upgrades. So you may want to start slow, do a couple of missions. They actually recommend what level you are when you bump up the difficulty. So start easy, get used to the game, and you'll have a much better time. If you can, bring two buddies instead of letting the bots play with you through the main mission, and you're also going to have a better time. The weapons have really good synergy with each other. So if you can coordinate with a friend to use all the different weapon types, then you're going to be able to get through the missions a lot more enjoyably. 1 second. Okay, also, you are swarmed by small Tyrranids, which you can melee, and big ones, which you can parry or dodge. And the parry system people consider like a little finicky, and it is until you get the hang of it. One, it's bound in a stupid spot. It's C, so it's right under your movement keys, and that can be really annoying. I was stubborn and didn't want to rebind it, but I would put it on E and just change your E function to F, so that it's a little bit easier to reach it. Or preferably, if you like playing with a controller, just play this game with a controller, and you're probably going to have an easier time with the dodge and parry. But I just prefer mouse and keyboard. Also, the Tyrranid warriors, and this is the in-game lore description of it, but I will explain like in 1 second. When you get rushed with a small group of Tyranids that you could melee, and larger ones, you should focus on parrying them. There is a indicator that is blue when you have the best chance of succeeding with a parry. It is orange when you are better off dodging, and between the two, you have a chance of success. You want to parry so that you can stun the Tyrannid warrior and execute them. When you execute, you get a temporary bonus to your armor and a small health boost, and you get momentary invulnerability when you are going through the animation of execution. So you really want to focus on the Tyrannid warriors when the swarms are coming, and it's, you want to be fighting, but focus on that. You have a chance to counter with your pistol when you parry. That chance is reduced when you don't have the blue indicator, but you can still try it unless you've got, just can't be parried and it's time to dodge. The Tyrannid warriors are the synaptic conduits through which the hive mind directs the lesser Tyrannid bioforms. Cut one down and the entire swarm will fall into disarray, is the lore description of saying, focus on the big dudes and the little dudes will die too. So if you are struggling on higher difficulties, really focus on parrying the Tyrannid warriors, and you can take out big groups, just totally ignoring the little guys. And if you are playing with somebody else or a bot and you see one of the Tyrannid warriors grappling, you can actually pull it off, and then you stun it and can execute right then. So anytime I saw a Tyrannid warrior on like one of the bot characters, I would go up, pull it off, execute it, and then get that health boost and armor boost back. And that really made gameplay a lot easier. Also, there are med packs for like a kind of like a health potion, but you can only carry 2 at a time. I think it's very limited, and they're also not very plentiful out in the world. And sometimes you will go from stage to stage in a mission and you don't really get to heal unless you fail. So it's really better to focus on trying to get your health back by parrying. Like it is a little difficult of a game. You will find yourself at low health, just barely making it a lot. But for me, that really made it feel good. It really made the victories feel earned. And it really sold the idea of being overwhelmed. And I just liked that fantasy of a warrior who is facing insurmountable odds and just trying to survive. It just made the game very enjoyable to me. But if you are struggling, I don't know, maybe you will find that helpful. I definitely am, but I enjoy that kind of struggle in games. It really can immerse me, and I don't really mind. And you know, there are higher difficulties which are actually difficult, and that can feel really good and give the game more time if you want to go back and replay it. So yeah, I really enjoy this game. Right now, it is my contender for Game of the Year. It's exactly what I wanted it to be. It was really nice to go back and play Space Marines 1, and this one is like steps ahead from that. So it was nice to see a series progressing instead of regressing like some of the other ones I've played recently. That feels good. It's lore accurate. You really feel like you're your little model on the table with the way that the environments and the set dressing works. You get a nice taste of the Warhammer 40k lore. If you're not familiar with it, this is a nice entry point into it where it gives you lore without being overwhelming or like a lore dump. But that is a very vast rabbit hole to go down if you enjoy it. Yeah, you will like this game if you enjoy just huge swarms. They were able to put so many Tyrranids and gargoyles on the scene at the scenes at once, and it just felt so good. There's lots of explosions. There is a lot of like combat gore like spread around. You will see, you know, fallen battle brothers and fallen Tyranids alike, and you'll see like shells and just viscera and everywhere, and it really sells the idea of a battle scene if you enjoy that kind of thing. I do. The environments are great. The cutscenes are nice. The story is serviceable. You get to know your squad members through the campaign, but it is very stoic and to the point. You know, they have the conversations necessary to work together, but you know, they're not. It's just not a game that spends a lot of time on story and that sort of thing, but the story is there. So yeah, it's really enjoyable. I like games that don't try to be anything that they're not, and this is a very well done, complete package of a game. It does have its faults. The combat can feel kind of janky at first. Playing on a controller will help with that. Playing with friends will help with that. You can play with up to 2 friends at a time, or they're replaced with AI when you want to play by yourself. Taking some time to understand what each weapon does. If you're not familiar with Warhammer, you know, will help, and getting used to the parry and dodge system, which is new for 2, will help you. But I mean, once you get in and get used to it and everything, the combat does feel really good. Just I suggest starting on a lower difficulty if you're not familiar with these kinds of games, and you know, very quickly, you kind of get used to it, and it just starts to feel so enjoyable. The victories really feel earned, and I just had the best time. And it's made me want to go back into my gray pile of shame. Like I've got my little space marines, and some Tyrranids and stuff that I want to get back into painting. I'm like, I don't know, I'm hyped for Warhammer again after playing this just for 2 days, but I want to play some more of the game first. I don't know. But yeah, um, I would completely recommend this game to somebody that is a fan of like Doom or games like that. Or it's a good one if you're a fan of the Warhammer series. There are some minor lore inconsistencies. That some of the characters don't have purple eyes when they should, things like that, and that will bother you. You know, but all in all, every unit you fight is a playable unit. The story works, and you get little nuggets of Warhammer lore throughout the environments. So yeah, honestly, I couldn't recommend this game enough. So yeah, take care.